Right, Emma. So we're talking about episode 30 of Affiliate Alchemy today, yeah? And the core, really the heart of it all, is this idea of sustainable affiliate business growth through some truly lesser known yet incredibly effective techniques. It's not about the usual noise, is it? It's about, well, a foundational mindset shift, actually. People jump into affiliate marketing often looking for that instant win, that, quick buck. But what we're really digging into, what genuinely transforms your game, is thinking long term. It's not a sprint, it's more of a marathon actually, but with some clever shortcuts people tend to miss. It's about seeing beyond the immediate commission.
Oh, totally. I think that's where so many new affiliates trip up, eh? They see all these gurus talking about overnight success and they kind of get stuck in that mindset. But unconventional, James, when you say that, what does that really mean in terms of a mindset shift? Are we talking about just patience or something deeper? Do you know what I mean? What does that actually look like, practically speaking, for someone just starting out or even someone who's been doing it for a while but isn't seeing the results they hoped for, right?
Brilliant question, Emma. Absolutely brilliant. It's more than just patience, though that's certainly part of it. The unconventional mindset shift is about detachment from the product, really. It's not about finding a product and then trying to force it on an audience. It's about finding an audience first, understanding their deep, often unarticulated needs and pains, and then finding or even helping to create the absolute perfect solution for them. It's flipping the funnel, if you will. Most people start with product, then audience. We're saying no, start with the audience, their unique quirks, their genuine problems, and then the right product just presents itself, often in ways you wouldn't expect. It's about service over sales, actually.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Audience first. But then how do you even find these audiences or these overlooked niches, as you put it? Because everyone talks about niche research, but it always seems to boil down to keyword tools in Google Trends, eh? And those tend to point you to the same super competitive niches that everyone else is already in. What's the secret sauce for finding something truly overlooked that still has profit potential? Do you know what I mean? Where do we even begin looking for that gold?
Excellent point, Emma. And you're right, keyword tools are just, well, they show you what's already popular, what's already saturated. The trick for overlooked niches isn't about search volume, it's about identifying underserved communities or problems that exist but haven't been productized effectively yet. Think about what people complain about in private forums, on niche subreddits, or even in the comments section of broader blogs. Look for micro-communities that are passionate but struggling to find specific solutions. For instance, instead of weight loss, think weight loss for busy single parents over 40 working night shifts. See how that narrows it down? It's about combining multiple, what appear to be smaller, less competitive keywords or demographics, creating a truly unique intersection. It's about listening, really, to the whispers, not the shouts.
Wow, okay, that's a brilliant way to look at it. So instead of trying to carve out a huge pie, you're looking for a completely different pie that no one's even baked yet, right? Or maybe a pie that's perfectly sized for a smaller group. That's really smart. So you're saying we should be more like a detective, digging into conversations rather than, punching terms into a search bar. Are there any specific platforms or places you'd recommend someone starts that kind of detective work beyond Reddit or niche forums? Because those can be a bit overwhelming sometimes, eh?
Precisely, Emma, precisely. Think of it as ethnographic research for affiliates. Beyond Reddit and forums, consider Quora, actually, but not just for answering questions. Look at the types of questions people are asking, the nuances, the frustration. Facebook groups are also golden, but again, not for spamming links. It's about understanding the internal language of these groups, their pain points. But for unconventional traffic generation itself, well, this is where it gets really exciting, you know? Everyone's chasing Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, and sure, they work, but they're expensive and competitive. We're talking about things like leveraging micro-influencers who have incredibly engaged, loyal audiences, but aren't charging exorbitant rates like the big names. Or how about forgotten platforms? Pinterest, for instance, still has massive organic reach for visual content in many niches. Or even guest posting on smaller, highly targeted blogs that actually want quality content, rather than trying to compete for placements on the monster sites. It's about finding pockets of attention where your competition isn't yet, you know?
Oh, that's really clever. The micro-influencer idea especially, because you're right, the big names are just out of reach for most beginners. So if we're not doing the typical paid ads and we're exploring these forgotten platforms or guest posting, how do you measure the success of that? Because it feels a little less trackable than, say, a Facebook ad campaign with all its metrics. Do you know what I mean? How do you ensure you're actually getting results from these more stealth traffic methods?
Another superb point. And you're right, the metrics aren't always as instantly dashboardable as paid ads, but they are absolutely measurable. For micro-influencers, it's about unique tracking links, obviously, and then assessing the quality of the traffic, not just the quantity. Are these users engaging with your content? Are they signing up for your email list? For guest posts, it's referral traffic, bounce rate from that referral, and again, conversions from that specific source. On platforms like Pinterest, it's about impression shares, click-throughs to your content, and then tracking the journey from there. The key is to be meticulous with your tracking links and to tag everything properly. It just requires a bit more bespoke setup rather than relying on a platform's built-in analytics. It's about understanding the user journey, Emma, from that initial unconventional touchpoint all the way to a conversion. You absolutely can track it. You just have to be a bit more creative with your analytics toolkit.
Okay, that totally makes sense. So we've found our niche. We're driving traffic from these interesting, unconventional places. But then you mentioned advanced conversion psychology, and that sounds super intriguing. What exactly does that entail beyond, having a clear call to action and good sales copy? Are we talking about really getting inside people's heads, James? Because I feel like a lot of affiliates just copy-paste templates, and it doesn't always land. Do you know what I mean? What's the advanced part here?
Oh, Emma, this is where the alchemy truly happens. It's absolutely about getting inside heads, but ethically, of course. It's moving beyond simply stating features and benefits. The advanced psychology of conversion taps into deeper human desires and aversions. It's about understanding cognitive biases, like loss aversion. People are often more motivated by avoiding a loss than by gaining something. Or scarcity and urgency, but used genuinely, not artificially. But even deeper, it's about pre-framing, shaping the perception before they even see the offer. It's about building genuine rapport, establishing authority and trust, not through claims, but through demonstrated value. Think about creating an irresistible narrative arc for your offer, rather than just a sales page. It's subtle, actually, but profoundly effective because it aligns with how people naturally make decisions, often subconsciously.
Right. So it's less about shouting, buy now, and more about gently guiding them through a story where the product is the natural, inevitable solution to their problem. I really like that idea of pre-framing. Could you give an example of what pre-framing would look like in an affiliate context? Because I think that's where many people probably just miss the boat entirely. Is it about the content before the actual product review or something even more nuanced? Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to wrap my head around the practical application of that.
Absolutely, Emma. Pre-framing is crucial. Let's say you're promoting a course on advanced dog training. Instead of immediately reviewing the course, your content leading up to it might talk about the sheer frustration of having a disobedient pet, the embarrassment in public, the feeling of helplessness, and then transition into imagine a dog that listens to your every command, that walks calmly by your side, that brings joy instead of stress. You're painting a picture of their ideal future and, critically, amplifying the pain of their current situation without even mentioning the course yet. When you then introduce the course, it's not just a solution, it's the vehicle to that ideal future, the answer to the amplified pain. You've essentially prepared their mind to be receptive to a solution. Another powerful aspect is leveraging social proof in ways that aren't just X number of testimonials. It's about showing diverse examples, people just like them, achieving specific, relatable results. It builds trust and makes the solution feel attainable and proven. It's about emotional resonance, really, not just logical appeal. It's what transforms a maybe into a yes.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So it's not just like this course teaches A, B, and C. It's more like this course helps you finally achieve the peaceful, joyful relationship with your dog that you've been dreaming of by tackling those frustrating issues that currently make you feel helpless. It's like tapping into their deepest desires and fears. I really like that. And the social proof thing, like moving beyond just numbers to actual relatable stories, that's incredibly powerful. So when we're writing, we're really focusing on like painting that vivid before and after picture, right? And using that emotional connection to guide them towards the solution without being pushy or like sounding too salesy, eh?
Precisely, Emma. The goal is to make the decision feel almost inevitable. You've articulated their problem better than they could themselves, you've shown them a desirable future, and then you've presented the clear, proven path to get there. It almost feels like you're doing them a favor by introducing them to this solution because you've understood their struggles so profoundly. And the key is authenticity. You can't fake this level of understanding. That's why the audience-first mindset is so crucial. If you truly know your audience, their hopes, their fears, their daily struggles, then crafting that narrative becomes second nature. It's about building a genuine connection. And then the conversion, well, it naturally follows, doesn't it? It feels less like a transaction and more like a helpful recommendation from a trusted friend. And that, my dear, is the essence of advanced conversion psychology for sustainable affiliate growth.
Okay, wow, that's brilliant. I feel like I'm already seeing like how I could apply some of that. Now, shifting gears a bit, you mentioned long-term asset building. And I think for a lot of affiliates, their only asset is like their website or maybe their social media profile. But what else are we talking about here? Like, what does asset building mean in an unconventional sense for an affiliate marketer? Are we talking about like building an email list or something more permanent and valuable? Because social media platforms can just change their algorithms and then poof, your traffic is gone, right?
Spot on, Emma. You've hit the nail on the head regarding the volatility of social platforms. Your website is definitely an asset, but it's just one pillar of your digital fortress. When I talk about asset building for the long term, I'm absolutely referring to an email list. That's paramount, because you own that audience relationship. But it goes beyond that, actually. Think about developing a unique content library that lives beyond a single blog post. This could be in-depth guides, proprietary research, a distinctive video series, or even a podcast that you own and distribute independently. These aren't just pieces of content, they're valuable resources that continually attract and serve your audience, cementing your authority and establishing you as the go-to expert. Another often overlooked asset is a thriving, engaged community, be it a private forum, a Discord server, or a highly moderated Facebook group that you control. You're building a network effect where the value isn't just from you, but from the collective interaction, you know? It's creating a destination, not just a pit stop for a sales pitch.
Oh, that's really, really smart. So it's about creating like a hub of value that people keep coming back to, not just a place where they click an affiliate link once and leave. And I love the idea of a digital fortress. It really paints a picture of like security and permanence in a really unstable online world, eh? So, for someone starting to build these assets, what's like the very first step they should focus on beyond maybe just their initial website? Should it be the email list or like starting a content library or trying to build a community right away? What's the like foundational piece to start building that long-term security?
Definitely the email list, Emma, no question. That's your direct line, your most precious asset. Once you have that, then you layer on the other assets. But as you scale, there's this critical component, ethical scaling. This is absolutely non-negotiable for long-term success. It's so easy, isn't it, to get caught up in the numbers, to chase commissions, and then compromise your integrity. Ethical scaling means always prioritizing the value you provide to your audience over the immediate commission. It means transparency about your affiliate relationships, clearly disclosing when you're making a commission. It's about only promoting products you genuinely believe in and, ideally, have used yourself or thoroughly vetted. It's about building a reputation for trustworthiness, because once that's gone, well, it's almost impossible to get back. It's about serving your audience so well that they want to buy through your links because they trust your recommendations implicitly, you know? It's the only way to build a truly resilient, sustainable business that actually compounds over time rather than burning out after a few quick wins.
Right, so it's not just about like getting bigger, but getting bigger in a way that actually strengthens your brand and your relationship with your audience. I think that's super important, especially with like all the noise online now. People can smell a scam a mile away, eh? And I think that trust factor is something that takes ages to build, but can be like destroyed in a second. So how do you keep that front of mind when you're like maybe trying to scale quickly and you see opportunities that might be a little bit gray ethically? What's like your litmus test for making sure you're always staying on the right side of ethical scaling, James?
My litmus test, Emma, is quite simple actually. Would I recommend this product or service to my own mum or my best friend? If the answer isn't an emphatic yes, then it's a no. End of story. And beyond that, it's about asking, am I providing genuine value with this promotion, or am I just chasing a payout? If your primary motivation is the payout, you're on the wrong path. The value proposition must always, always come first. And transparency, as I said, is key. Not just because regulations require it, but because it builds genuine goodwill. People appreciate honesty. When you say, look, I earn a small commission if you buy this, but I truly believe it will help you because XYZ, that resonates far more than a hidden link. It's about long-term vision, always. Think about where you want your business to be in 5, 10 years, not just the next quarter. That long-term perspective naturally guides you towards ethical choices. It's a bit like planting an oak tree rather than annual flowers, isn't it?
That's a fantastic, like, mum test. I'm going to totally use that. So, speaking of those unconventional traffic methods, you mentioned micro-influencers earlier, and I'm really curious about that. Because I think a lot of people just don't know where to start with that, or they feel like it's too much work. How do you actually find and like approach these micro-influencers effectively without just cold messaging a bunch of people and getting ignored? And what kind of like results can someone realistically expect from working with them? Because it feels like a really untapped resource, eh?
It absolutely is an untapped resource, Emma. The key is finding influencers whose audience genuinely aligns with your niche rather than just chasing follower counts. Look for engagement rates over sheer numbers. A micro-influencer with 5,000 followers and 10% engagement is far more valuable than someone with 50,000 and 1% engagement, actually. You find them by doing your niche research. If you're in the busy single parents over 40 working night shifts niche, search for blogs, podcasts, Instagram accounts, or TikTok creators who specifically cater to that exact demographic. They might not call themselves influencers, but if they have a loyal, engaged following, they are. When approaching them, don't just ask for a shout-out. Propose a genuine collaboration. Offer to provide them with valuable content for their audience, perhaps a unique discount code for their followers, or even a review unit of the product if it's physical. It's a partnership. And the results? You can expect highly targeted traffic and often much higher conversion rates because the trust factor is already established between the influencer and their audience. It's about leveraging that existing rapport, you know?
Oh, that makes so much sense. So it's not just like asking for a promotion, it's about building a relationship and offering value to their audience through their trusted voice. And focusing on engagement over just like the number of followers, that's a total game changer, I think, because it shifts the focus from vanity metrics to actual impact. So are there any like specific platforms or tools that can help identify these highly engaged micro-influencers? Or is it mostly just like manual research through the channels you mentioned earlier? Because finding them feels like the trickiest part, eh?
For micro-influencers, Emma, it's largely manual actually. But there are tools like Modash or BuzzSumo that can help with discovery and analyzing engagement metrics, though they often lean towards slightly larger accounts. But let's pivot a bit, because a massive part of what makes all these unconventional strategies sing, particularly in conversion psychology and asset building, is storytelling. The power of storytelling in affiliate marketing is just absolutely immense. People don't remember features, they remember feelings and narratives. Instead of saying this product has X feature, you tell a story about how that feature solved a specific, painful problem for someone. You introduce a character, detail their struggle, introduce the solution, the affiliate product, and then describe their transformation. This resonates on an emotional level, bypasses rational objections, and creates a memorable connection. It's why case studies convert so well, but you can infuse storytelling into every piece of content, from your email subject lines to your product reviews and even your social media posts. It's what makes content sticky, you know?
Oh, I totally get that. Like, I remember stories way more than just bullet points, right? So when we're talking about integrating storytelling, is it always about like a big, long narrative, or can it be something shorter and more subtle? Because I feel like sometimes people might get intimidated thinking they need to write like a novel for every product they promote. What's like the sweet spot for storytelling in terms of length and depth for an affiliate marketer? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can someone start applying this without feeling overwhelmed?
Excellent point, Emma. It absolutely doesn't have to be a novel. In fact, often shorter, punchier stories are more effective in the online world. It could be a brief anecdote in an email, I used to struggle with X until I found Y, or a relatable personal experience woven into a blog post. Even a single sentence that evokes a vivid image or feeling can be a mini-story. The sweet spot is enough detail to be compelling and relatable, but concise enough to maintain attention. Focus on the emotional journey, the initial pain, the search for a solution, the moment of discovery, and the positive outcome. That arc can be conveyed in a paragraph, actually, or a short video clip. The key is to make it authentic and to ensure the product is presented as the natural hero or enabler in that narrative. Start small by just adding one compelling anecdote to your next product review, and then build from there. You'll find it becomes second nature, and your conversions, well, they'll thank you for it.
Okay, that's super helpful advice, James. So we've talked about like shifting our mindset, finding those hidden niches, getting creative with traffic, understanding the psychology of conversions, building long-term assets, and doing it all ethically with integrity and storytelling. That's a lot of really powerful, unconventional stuff. If someone is listening to this and they're like totally pumped to transform their affiliate game, but they're wondering, where do I even start with all this? What's like the very first, most crucial step they should take after listening to this episode to put this affiliate alchemy into action? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, Emma. The most crucial first step actually is to go back to that foundational mindset shift. Stop chasing the shiny objects that quick wins and truly commit to a long-term audience-first approach. From there, the immediate actionable step is deep, diligent, detective-style niche research. Don't just rely on keyword tools. Dive into forums, subreddits, Quora, and niche Facebook groups. Listen to the complaints, the aspirations, the specific problems people are articulating in these micro-communities. That understanding will inform everything else: the unconventional traffic sources you target, the specific stories you tell, and the ethical assets you build. It's all interconnected, really. If you get that audience-first niche discovery piece right, the rest of the alchemy, well, it becomes far more straightforward and incredibly effective. So for your action item, dedicate time this week to truly listening to an underserved audience. You'll be amazed at what you uncover, believe me.
That's brilliant advice, James. It's all about like that deep understanding before you even think about trying to sell anything. And I love how you framed it as detective-style research. That makes it sound like less intimidating and more exciting, actually. So yeah, for everyone listening, get out there, be a detective, find your people, and start building those genuine connections. Because, as you said, that's where the real alchemy happens, eh?
That's brilliant advice, Emma. It's all about like that deep understanding before you even think about trying to sell anything. And I love how you framed it as detective-style research. That makes it sound like less intimidating and more exciting, actually. So yeah, for everyone listening, get out there, be a detective, find your people, and start building those genuine connections. Because, as you said, that's where the real alchemy happens, eh? Thank you so much for breaking all this down, James. This has been super insightful.
My absolute pleasure, Emma. Always a delight. And remember, this isn't just about making more money. It's about building a truly sustainable, resilient, and deeply satisfying affiliate business that you can be proud of. It's about transforming your game, not just playing it. Cheers.